You're finding out today what Bank of America found out last week in Charlotte, that you don't have to be a 1%er to look like a 1%er. My name is Bobby Tolbert, I'm a board member from Vocal, New York. Since it's already been said, I don't think I have to tell anybody in this room that we need an economy that's good for all of us and not just for Wall Street and the 1%ers.
That's right.
But Wall Street has no shame when it comes to pushing their agenda. They say that America is in crisis because we spend too much educating our children, feeding those who are hungry, caring for those who are sick, creating jobs for the public good, and guaranteeing working families a secure retirement. We say America is in crisis because Wall Street and big corporations don't pay their fair share in taxes. And that means fewer jobs and fewer public services that we all rely on. And that's when it gets personal to me. I have a very expensive work history, but one of my best jobs is when I worked for Grumman Aerospace in Bethpage, Long Island. I had a good salary, I had health insurance, and a promise of a pension. But in 1995, I became homeless, and I was ill for a very long time. And when I went to my doctor, he suggested that I take an HIV test. 2 weeks later, I came back and learned that I was HIV positive. After he told me that I was HIV positive, he said he didn't really know that much about the virus. And at that time, the virus was a death sentence for many people. There's still a lot of stigma and discrimination today, but back then it was even worse. But I made a decision. I wasn't going to give up, and I was going to find a way to turn a death sentence into a life sentence. To take what's now known as a cocktail, powerful drugs that have been developed and paid for with public funding through the National Institutes of Health. I was able to get affordable housing, also publicly funded by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I was able to afford medication because I had Medicaid. And now after 15 years, my viral load is undetectable and I'm doing more than just survive. In the kind of country Wall Street wants to create. I cannot survive in the kind of country that Congressman Paul Ryan and other politicians bought and paid for by Wall Street want to create. It's not just me, it's my kids, my grandkids, and I'm sure many of you out there. So I really mean it when I say we don't have a spending crisis, we have a revenue crisis. The truth is that budget cuts and the austerity resulting from the financial crisis are jeopardizing everything that allows me to survive. Sometimes I feel like my activism is the only thing that's keeping me alive. Now there are some very concrete things that President Obama can do to make Wall Street pay and invest in America. But there are some people blocking the path forward. They have names and addresses. And NPA has all of them. They work in places like SEC and the Treasury Department. I don't know if they have a moral conscience, but I hope they hear us if they do. So let me hear you. If you want to repeal the Bush tax cuts for the rich. On the big banks. All of us here today are living proof that God takes ordinary people and allows them to do extraordinary things.